There are challenges in a variety of areas. So in terms of reading, for example, the standards are pretty clear that ELs are supposed to access grade level complex text that's both narrative and informational. And this will be extremely challenging for English language learners. They're also, with regard to the writing standards, expected to respond in writing to this complex text. And if they don't understand the complex text, it will be very difficult for them to respond in writing to this text. With respect to the language standards, they're supposed to meet the conventions of English grammar. And this will be very difficult for English language learners. And this is because if you're an English language learner, you acquire proficiency in English in a developmental sequence. So you acquire new forms when you're developmentally ready to acquire those forms. And you, for example, in very constrained contexts, English language learners can produce those forms in speaking and in writing. So if they're in foreign language instruction or ESL instruction and they're working with a particular form, in a class, they can, in constrained circumstances, produce that form. But then if they're interacting naturally with their peers or sort of writing in response to a task that aren't constrained by a particular situation, they're going to use the forms, the grammatical forms that they're able to use at that point in their development. So So that is going to be a particularly challenging standard for English language learners. With regard to listening and speaking, it's the same thing. Having a command of the formal grammar of English is going to be very challenging.